As a student at Cambridge in the 1930s, Kim Philby was infused with an intellectual, emotional, and lifelong commitment to communism. That made him a willing recruit into the ranks of the Soviet espionage service.
A Moment in Time with Dan Roberts.
Philby and his friends, Donald MacLean, Guy Burgess, and Anthony Blunt, were true believers. Philby's career was perhaps the most exotic. At the instruction of his Soviet handlers after his university years, he began to tack in a rightward direction in conversation, beliefs, and political connections. This was to disguise and make possible his recruitment into British intelligence. His stint as a pro-Franco journalist covering the Spanish Civil War led through Burgess to his enrollment in the ranks of first MI5 and then the Sabotage and Subversion Division of MI6. In that role, Philby was able to protect Soviet operatives and ensure the capture and death of British and American agents. From 1941 to 1946, he was in charge of recruitment of insurgents and spies in and out of German spheres of influence. He recruited double agents for the Soviets and made sure his Allied recruits were either sent on useless missions or made sure the Soviets knew they were on the way to do work vital to the West. In the early 1950s, Philby was liaison to the CIA in Washington, and there his cover began to unravel when Burgess and MacLean defected to Russia. As the spotlight turned on Philby, he denied everything and was vigorously defended by the British. He kept up the ruse for another dozen years, but with MI6 closing in, he defected to Moscow in 1963. A disciple of Marx to the last, he died in 1988, just before the collapse of the Soviet Union and those things for which he had worked all his life. At the University of Richmond, I'm Dan Roberts.